Nine's Corner. I am Nine. It is so nice to meet you. And if you're returning, welcome back, my dear friends. It is late night Friday, so I thought let's just change things up a little bit. Maybe have a look at a few of the more pop culture-y things that are in the news recently. So one of the first things that are in the news recently is that MSN had put out this news release and said that Kate and William were breaking up, that she had left him with the 3 kids. It was retracted right away, but you know, it's one of those things where there's smoke, there could be fire, because don't forget, when she was pregnant with their 3rd child, he was accused of, and it was in the news, that he possibly had an affair, allegedly had an affair at the end of her 3rd pregnancy. So, look, the reality is they are just human. So if he's done that, he's done it. I just find it interesting that when it comes to Kate and William, they try to clean up and keep everything quiet. And yet when it comes to Harry and Meghan, it's like a big smear campaign. You know, I realize that William's going to be eventually the king, but you think that there would be more protection in their relationship. These were 2 boys that were raised together as best friends, who they know their mother would want them to stick together. And my own personal feeling is that whatever you think of Harry and Meghan, I think Harry married the woman that he truly fell in love with. Whereas with William and Kate, I think that he loves her. But I think that, you know, everybody thought Harry was the bad boy. I think William probably was, and Harry was actually, do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just my own personal thoughts on it. So I thought for our first reading, let's just look and see, where there's smoke, is there indeed fire? Now she wants to go out with the dog. Give me 1 second before we get into this late night reading. So with that in mind, let's have a little peek on William and Kate. See how William feels about Kate. Let's see how Kate feels about William, and how their relationship is currently. If we need to look at extra cards, we will. So William. Remember I said I think he might be the one with the roaming eye, that it was Harry always being told that he was the, you know, the playboy, when I think he was just the fun one, because William is definitely the dull one. So do I think that he has stepped out on her? Oh yeah. I think he's probably somebody with a double personality, you know, where sometimes, or maybe the majority of the time, he's a great guy, but then there's this elitist, maybe because he's had everything his whole life, he's not used to hearing no, and I don't know whether or not Kate is willing to say no to him. So, Kate. He and those children are her beginning, her middle, and her end. She is not happy to overlook an affair, but she is willing to do it because she is very aware of her role, what it is for her that she has to do. I think that prior to going into this relationship, she knew what she was getting herself into. And I think at the end, she feels that she will be the one that will be with him at the end. Oh, God, I hope this is not like another Camilla type deal. No, he's... Oh. He is like, oh, Kate, please forgive me. You know, he's probably after giving her a gift or trying to be romantic and doing a lunch and everything. I'm telling you, I'm just going to do some clarifiers to just see. But I think that there probably has been trouble in paradise. I do think that he's not adverse to stepping out on her. I think her whole world revolves around him and those kids. And he's loving and he wants to be there, and he gives her everything that she wants and needs in this world. And she does love him. But I think he has a streak of Charles in him where he feels that, you know, my father, my father's father, they all had this right of having extracurricular activities. Oh, man. I feel as though for William, he feels like he has to give up everything, and he's giving her all that he can give her. He just wants to hold on to a little part of himself. This is the part of himself that is without Kate, that's not part of the family. I think there's a need for him to have this separation of independence because he's almost in a prison where every action, every thought, everything, his whole life has been dictated by that of the royal family or the royal entity. This goes to him needing to have something that is just him, that's his own private life, if that makes sense. You know, for her, when things are good, they're great, and she will follow him to the ends of the earth. When things are bad, they're bad, and she will follow him to the ends of the earth. Hangman, thinking of things differently. So yeah, I think this couple, I'm not saying in any way that she allows for any alleged affairs to happen, but I do think that she is well aware of William and his good traits and his bad traits. And the day that she had a child with him was the day that she knew she would never leave him, that she would ride it out until he changes his mind and she changes her own mind. It's about truly compromising. He wants to stay with her, but he's like, look, I am trapped. And I need to have some independence. She doesn't want him to have that independence away from her, but she's willing to go wherever he goes because she does understand it. There is a fundamental understanding. Doesn't mean you like it, but it means that you understand. So this is a couple that, you know, she feels betrayed 100%. He's gonna just rush in, do as he wants, rush back out. I don't think he's gonna have this, like, I think he's just going to have these moments of madness where he needs to buck the system, buck the rules. And my friends, as we've said, she is going to stay, keep the home fires burning. She knows that if she sticks it out through the years with him, that he will be hers. And he does love her. It's just, he loves himself more. Just going to say it as it is. So seeing that we've looked at William and Kate, let's just have a look at Harry and Meghan. There's a lot of rumors going around that they may be starting their own reality show. I can't imagine them doing it even if they needed the money. Now, documentaries and stuff like that, 100%. I think they would definitely work in the television industry, documentary, but I think it would have to have a certain, you know, je ne sais quoi to it. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's have a look and see how are Harry and Meghan doing. Here's Harry. Here's Miss Meghan. And here's how things are going between them. Okay, so Harry is looking at everything that he has done up to this point. I think he is really exhausted himself trying to keep his own independence, trying to make his own money and his own way in the world. I think they are reviewing their resources and stuff. So maybe, I don't think a reality show, like in the way of like Kate Plus 8 or anything like that's coming out. But there could be projects that are bringing money into them. Oh, Megan. Ah, Megan, mama. Mama, 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 mamacita. I got a feeling that Megan may be feeling overwhelmed. I think there has been a lot of gossip against her, a lot of negative reviews and gossip about her. It's like she can't do anything, whether she does it right, wrong, or indifferent. They're going to say something about it. I wouldn't be surprised if she's having some, depression, having a hard time, or feeling feeling is almost like she has to go through some of the motions because she might not be necessarily feeling it, because I think there is some depression happening here. God bless her. When you have young kids and you're trying to do everything, it can be overwhelming. So I think there's some tension here, not for them in a relationship wise, but I think financially they're having to look at things, because the reality is that they're having to do a lot more on their own. And obviously there's a split with Harry and the royal family at this point. So I think there is this, worry about how their finances are going to be, because no matter what you say, they are the royal family. They need a certain amount of protection. Can they afford the protection that they need? Because no matter if they have no money, that doesn't take away from the fame that they have. So, you know what I'm saying? Guys, there's love here. I think that when he's down, she's able to be up. When she's up, he's able, or when she's down, he's able to be up. Right now, I think he's offering her a lot of support. He's trying to take on the stress, but she's not somebody that says, "Oh, just take over." She needs to be part and parcel of it. She's a control freak. And I think right now she's out of control. I think that she is having, probably some depression, some stress, and he's trying to take care of the finances, take care of protecting her from any negative news. He loves her. You know how I said Kate's willing to follow William wherever he goes? Well, there we go. Harry is willing to follow Meghan wherever she goes. Let me just... Okay. Um, I think that Meghan is depending on Harry to bring in the money. I think the financial issue is definitely something that's between them at this point. It doesn't, look, it doesn't mean that they're breaking up or anything of that nature. I don't mean it that way. But I think that money issues are between them. I think she's expecting and needing him to bring in the money to secure their livelihood. They're trying to hold on to what they have financially. Um, hmm. strangely enough, I think she's having some emotional problems, but I think them together are having some financial issues. Let's just... When I say let's just continue, you should just scream, no, Nina, no. I hope they're not planning on doing any kind of salacious show because it will ruin them. Totally ruin them. I'm telling you, there is a lot of stress. A lot of stress in their relationship. When I say there's stress in their relationship, that does not mean there's not love. It just means stress. And most people will tell you, most marriages break up. Why? Because of money. Oh, Lord. I really feel like there is a bit of a smear campaign, not just against Meghan, but against him. I feel as though since they, but more particularly him, because if you see here the hands coming from his side, his truth about the royal family, about those things, I think are part of his downfall, part of her stress, part of the reason why they're lacking money, trying to hold on to everything they want. Whether, you know, because this is telling truth, bringing clarity, but if he goes ahead and does that, it's going to break him. And if he's not bringing in the funds for Meghan, that is stressing her out. She's not willing... She wants to live a certain lifestyle. I really think, I hope that this show is not something that they're really considering because, you know, when you're feeling like you're having a cash flow issue, you do things that you look back on and regret. I'm just worried about him putting out information, writing something, like actually that could really hurt him, his reputation, his relationship with the royal family, his relationship with William, even his own family relationship, because money changes everything. It really does. It puts a lot of stress on any relationship, whether you've got lots of money or no money whatsoever. Truth. All right, so next, let's have a look at Johnny and Amber. Let's see, now that the trial has been going on for 2 weeks, have the energies changed as to who will come out on top? Who will win? Will it be win, lose, or draw? Win, lose, or draw? So Johnny, Amber, and then we'll put a card in between to see how they're going to feel. So Johnny, I think he's feeling fairly confident. Confident. My accent's coming out. I think he's feeling fairly confident. I think this is a reflection of the fact that there was, you know, social media information brought out in the trial where it was like justice for Johnny and really negative towards Amber Heard. So I feel as though he feels that, you know, he wants to win it. They're not there yet. But in the court of public opinion, justice for Johnny is like at 98%. You know, there's no way that you could look at this case and not see that it's toxic on both sides. I mean, you can't excuse everything. But he has certainly gone a long way to changing people's attitude towards them. And I think Amber exaggerated the story to the point of make it unbelievable. I don't think that it's without merit, some of the things that she said, but I think she has exaggerated it to the point where it is folly, exaggerated to the point where it is no longer a truth. Ooh. She's feeling very emotional. I think she's under the pressure of, it's like, I feel like she's under the pressure of feeling very alone. You know, when you can't get your closest friends to come to court to support you. But I still feel like even though she's crying tears of loss, that the hand of justice, she feels that regardless of this, she'll end up having justice go her way as a legality. The Nine of Cups representing how they'll feel. That is so interesting. I think we might have been right when we said win, lose, or draw. I think it could be a case of a win in public opinion, a loss in public opinion. A win in the sense that she'll have the law behind her enough to save her. Because they're both going to win. Who's more likely to win, Johnny or Amber? Who's more likely to win, Johnny or Amber? Give us a distinct yes or no answer. I should bring out my angel cards and ask them now. Okay. Now see, this is winning but not the big prize. And this is her holding on monetarily. Man, oh man, oh man. Let me just... Ooh. Wow, wow, wow. I think when it comes down to it, Johnny's team is going to be the team that will win. I don't know that they'll be awarded money or any great amount of money, but I think this will be a positive thing for him. I think for her, it has done a lot more damage. And if I was Johnny, I would stay away from her because this is toxic, and this is not toxic in the past. This is toxic going forward. So I would be worried about her, what she could possibly do. She'd be the one that after everything is said and done, try to call him up and say, hey, let's get back together or let's meet. Like, she is not ready to let go. She still thinks that there are things that she could do to get him back. And he's like, I'm done. I've seen what you're capable of and I don't want to be part of it. This story has not ended. Even after this trial, we're going to hear more about these people. Alrighty. So, I guess I could have called it a couples night because I've been doing mostly couples, because now I'm going to do Will and Jada. Okay. my candle just went out when I said I was going to do Will and Jada, and I was doing about couples. Just saying, I just like to point the stuff out. This is the stuff that I do notice. And I just think it's weird that I'm talking about Jada and Will, and the light went out. So let's have a look and see. Will, Jada, and how things are going. A lot has been happening. The news has been hitting, saying that they're going to be getting divorced. Ooh. You know, Will feels left out, but this is not something new. This is something he's always felt. She wants to hold on to the marriage, but she wants it to be, you know, a marriage where they write the rules. Whereas he's like, I have been following you. I could have made a different way. But it's like he's under her control. She always makes him feel less than. And he's working towards trying to show her I'm that and much, much more. Guys, they're on shaky ground. Which way this is going to go, or we're going to have to just... He's feeling very alone. He is considering going down. He's embarrassed as a man. He is going to take some time to figure things out. He wants to try to take some time to look at what's best for him at this point. That includes what's best for his career, because it actually might be a little help to his career if he got rid of Jada. But I think he's looking at it in the sense of, my kids are raised. I've put up with this BS from her. I have never been able to, you know, I mean, she got on the Red Table Talk and talked about him not being able to satisfy her. So, I mean, you don't do that to your man. That just... Oh, she's the victim. She feels like all the negative talk is going towards her, and she doesn't feel like she deserves it. One day they're up, one day they're down. One day they're together, one day they're going to separate. Poor Will. Poor Will, because no matter how many problems they have, no matter how many issues, no matter how bad the waters are rushing around him, he loves her. He loves her. She is more or less, this is my ride. If you want to be on it, then you go by my rules. If you don't want to be on it, well then, look elsewhere. Waiting for their ships to come in. I think that there's a lot of issues between them. I think they are thinking about separation, or at least staying together but separating in their own personal lives. I don't think they're ready to... I think they're in the thinking stages. I don't know that they're ready to make any major decisions. I do think he is thinking about going his own way, but having to do more with his career. But he does love her. I think she feels like she's been negatively impacted by this. And she's like, no, this is my ride. You're on it. I think they're just waiting to see. I think they're going to... she's going to use this because this is her ride. I think he's going to step back, take some time for himself to figure things out, get some information about where he should be going from now. And they're going to let sleeping dogs lie for a while and see how things are and test the waters. And then based on that, that's how they'll move forward. Right now, it's still unknown. For our tarot talk with the departed, I thought we would look at Elvis Aaron Presley. I have questions. I'd like to know, how did he die? Because originally they said he had a heart attack because they did not want to admit that he had all the drugs in his system. Then it came out that he had a heart attack due to all the drugs in his system. But now the story is that they're still covering it up because the third theory, which they say is the true story, is that he was on the toilet when he was completely constipated because of all the medications he had taken. He was trying to push, could not push, but that put strain on his heart and he had a heart attack. So that's one. I'd like to know, his grandson had committed suicide at 27. I would love to know, was Elvis reincarnated in him? I have questions and I'd like to have answers. So let's have a tarot talk with Elvis. Let's see, Elvis, how did you feel about your life? You were a famous singer, actor. How did you feel about the life that you led here on Earth? Oy. Interestingly enough, here's all his success, all his ability, all the things that he was able to do. But for some reason, he's kind of saying he would have liked to have walked away from all of that because that's not what is real in life. It's about not what you do, but how you do it. And I think there's a lot of things that he feels bad about. And things he feels good about. Just because it's almost like even with his successes, he still wants to turn his back on them because they're not successes that you need to gain spiritually. See, he feels like he lost out. There's regrets in his life. I think he regrets the drugs. I think he regrets taking his God-given talent and instrument and not using it for its greater good. He was tempted and he fell. And even through his temptation, he wasn't able to see all the good that was still left there, that you can always climb out of a dark place. There's always things left. He's glowing here. Okay. Sad to say, but I think that death was a certain release to him. I think that he wasn't, I think on Earth he was fighting to have, the material success life, but then the spiritual life. And he had both of them in him, but he let materialism win out. And that death was a rebirth to him, that he was able to fulfill his mission in death rather than in life. Was he in any way reincarnated in his grandson? I don't necessarily think he was an actual reincarnation into his grandson, but there's a mental issue here that has been passed on. I think Elvis knew of the pain that his grandson went through. He knew of that being alone when you're totally not alone. I think he understood his grandson. He was with his grandson during those moments when his grandson was afraid and lost, and right up to his death, he stayed with him. So was he reincarnated on earth as his grandson? No. But he had a spiritual, mental connection where he was present to his grandson in his dreams. He would have definitely been there connecting to him in dreams and in daydreams, you know. You can get lost, hear a song. He definitely left signs and symbols around for his family. But this is showing that, you know, he understood the pain, the mental anguish that his grandson was going under. I'd like to know, next question, were you reunited with your mother, your father, your twin brother at the time of your death? Were you reunited with your loved ones, your family, your soul group? Yes, 100%. They were there. They welcomed him with open arms, loving, just joyful. Perfect. Just perfect. What lesson were you meant to learn on earth? Balance. You were meant to live a life of balance, moderation. Enjoy all things because all things are available to you, but do it in moderation. Lack of balance there. Lack of balance there for sure. So, what did you immediately learn in death? Interesting. In death, he learned his own strength. I think in death, he learned about... In death, he was expecting his mother to come, but it was actually his father who came, because his father was one of the main characters to teach him his lessons. So in death, there was something he learned from his father. His father came for him, almost as though continuing the lesson of balance. That you can't always get what you want, you get what you need. So maybe he was expecting mom to be the first person there, but it was actually dad continuing this lesson being learned. Having to learn stability, having to learn to build a foundation. If you don't have a good foundation, it will fall apart. Does he have any advice for his family that are left, his daughter, his wife, for the family and friends that are left? What message would he want to give to them? Well, this is definitely a case of we'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again one sunny day. He's there, he's waiting, he's behind you, he's going to be there. We all, come into this world, we all leave this world. We are the Trinity. We are Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. We are all of that. Advice for us: live life. Feel the fear and do it anyway. What as above is below. What anything is possible. Anything you put your mind to, you can make possible. I think this definitely reiterates that idea of, if you can believe it, you can manifest it. But you can't just say, oh, I believe I could write a book. It means you actually have to picture yourself writing the book. Feel the feelings of writing the book, doing the work of writing the book. But you have to believe yourself there. And if you believe, it will come. So I think this is a wonderful message to say, guys, you have all the gifts that you need to live a life, to get joy out of it, to have everything that you ever wanted. Don't live in despair. Don't live in loss. Live in hope. Live in the fact and the knowledge that when we die, we live. When we live, we die. It's just a round circle of life. So manifest and do your most to have the most in your life in these precious moments that we have. Well, thank you, Elvis. I appreciated that reading. That was awesome. So that's our Friday night reading. I hope you enjoyed and found it interesting. If there's anybody dearly departed that we all know that you'd like for me to read on, leave it in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and do all those things that help my channel. And as always, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. And until the next time we chat, my friends, cheerio and take care.